Hey everyone, hello, hello. So, when most people picture Jesus Christ, a familiar image comes to mind. Fair skin, light brown or even blonde hair, soft European facial features, and blue or hazel eyes. And this image has been reproduced for centuries in paintings, churches, films, and children's Bibles, especially in the Western world. But here's the question historians and scholars ask. Is that image historically accurate? Well, tonight we explore what history, archaeology, anthropology, and biblical scholarship actually suggests about the physical appearance of Jesus of Nazareth, and why the widely accepted Western image tells us more about European culture than about Jesus himself. One of the most important facts to establish right away is this. The Bible never explicitly describes Jesus' skin color, his eye color, or his hair color. The Gospels focus on Jesus' teachings, actions, and spiritual identity, not his physical appearance. And this silence in itself is actually quite meaningful. In the ancient world, authors typically only described physical traits when they were unusual or symbolically important. Jesus' appearance was likely unremarkable for his time and place. In other words, he probably looked like everyone else around him. There is a near universal scholarly consensus on several foundational points. Jesus was a Jew. He was born and lived in Roman-era Judea or Galilee. And he belonged to a Semitic ethnic group, and he lived among people native to the Eastern Mediterranean and Near East. Modern anthropology and archaeology give us a very clear picture of what people from first century Galilee looked like. Olive to medium brown skin, dark brown eyes, dark hair or even black hair, broad noses and strong facial features, and they were shorter in stature, averaging around 5'1" to 5'5" for men. And this description aligns closely with modern Middle Eastern Jewish, Arab, and Levantine populations, not with Northern or Western Europeans. In the early 2000s, forensic anthropologists used skulls from first century Judea to reconstruct what a typical Galilean Jewish man might have looked like. And these reconstructions, based on bone structure, muscle attachment, and historical data, produced an image of Jesus that shocked many people. Dark curly hair, a wide face, a thick beard, and brown skin weathered by the sun and labor. This Jesus looked like a working-class Middle Eastern man, not a pale, ethereal figure glowing with European beauty standards. Interestingly, early Christian art did not depict Jesus as white. In the first few centuries of Christianity, Jesus was often portrayed with dark skin. Sometimes he appeared youthful and beardless. And in Ethiopian and Coptic Christianity, Jesus is depicted with African features. And in Syriac and Eastern Christian art, he appears clearly Middle Eastern. These images reflect the cultures of the communities that were worshiping him. Early Christians did not insist on a single racialized idea of Jesus. They portrayed him in ways that felt familiar. So, Where did the white Jesus come from? Well, the transformation began as Christianity spread into Europe and later became the dominant religion of the Roman Empire in medieval Christendom. European artists modeled Jesus after local populations and used Greco-Roman ideas of beauty, and then painted him with fair skin, straight hair, and light eyes. By the Renaissance, this image became standardized. And then later, during European colonial expansion, the white Jesus image was exported globally, often alongside political power, cultural dominance, and missionary activity. And this was not coincidental. A Jesus who looked European was easier for Europeans to identify with and easier to present as a symbol of authority. The white depiction of Jesus is not just an artistic issue, it has deeper cultural consequences. For centuries, portraying Jesus as white reinforced European superiority, marginalized non-white Christian identities, and distorted the historical reality of Jesus' Jewishness. Ironically, this image often erased the very people Jesus came from, Middle Eastern Jews living under Roman occupation. Modern scholars argue that reclaiming Jesus' historical appearance can help restore context to his teachings, teachings rooted in oppression, poverty, empire, and resistance. Understanding Jesus as a brown-skinned Middle Eastern Jew does not change his spiritual message, but it does challenge cultural assumptions. It reminds us that Christianity did not originate in Europe. Jesus was not aligned with empire or privilege, and his message spoke to the marginalized, not the powerful. Reclaiming the historical Jesus can help dismantle racialized interpretations of faith and open space for a more inclusive understanding of Christianity. So, while the Bible does not give us a physical description of Jesus, history fills in the gaps. Based on scholarly consensus, archaeology, anthropology, and cultural context, Jesus of Nazareth was almost certainly brown-skinned, dark-haired, dark-eyed, and a Middle Eastern Jewish man from Galilee. The familiar white Jesus of Western art is not a historical portrait, it's a cultural creation. And understanding that difference helps us to not only see who Jesus was, but how societies shaped sacred images to reflect themselves. So yeah, that's it for today's breakdown on Jesus. As always, I do hope you found this video entertaining, enlightening, or in some way beneficial. If you did, help me out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with a friend or two. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.